Hello and warm welcome to this episode of Data and AI Monkey Man. My name is AJ Rida and I want to talk about Microsoft Fabric and the Azure Databricks Unity Catalog mirroring. What it is, how to use it, and actually show you hands-on how to set it up. So what is that about? I mean, probably heard about Microsoft Fabric and Databricks already, and eventually seen pictures like this where you see like an architecture consisting of both components working together, actually providing you benefits on multiple ends. And the question is always like how to integrate those. The good news is because they both tools work on the same kind of data foundation. That means like having the data persisted in the data lake in the Delta Parquet format makes this collaboration very easy. And actually, there are multiple ways how to kind of make this data, which you manage in Databricks, specifically in the Databricks Unity catalog, to make this data discoverable and consumable via Microsoft Fabric. So a pattern we see quite often is actually that you want to process the data in your existing Databricks platform and eventually serve that in Power BI reports. And there are actually new mechanisms now in Microsoft Fabric facilitating this pattern in a more convenient way. There are multiple ways how to do this integration. And one way how to do this is the so-called Unity Data Catalog mirroring. And this is what I want to show you today. So basically, what is Unity Data Catalog mirroring? It's mirroring the data, the metadata of the Unity catalog. So it's not replicating the underlying data kind of stored in the data lake and moving that to the Fabric One lake, but it's just like a synchronization of the metadata which you have in Unity catalog. So all the table and schema definitions, and if there are no new tables coming up, if there are old tables getting dropped, so that you can kind of sync this metadata information in a very easy managed way. So how do I set this up? So basically I start in an empty new catalog in my Databricks workspace. So I created two schemas here, one for data which is managed in the internal storage I use for this Unity catalog enabled workspace. So there's no external location, and just to show like it's working across schemas and also like schemas which have external storage locations. I also have this additional schema here. Eventually, both of these schemas, they have kind of the same data, just with different names, internal customer, external customer. And to make this Unity catalog mirroring work, you actually have to set some permissions on the Databricks side or have those privileges. And what you want to look out for is actually to grant the service principal or the user you want to use to set up this mirroring, to give it like the following privileges. One is like to use the schema. The other one is also to use the external use schema. That basically means that other engines, not only like the Databricks engines can use the schema, and eventually want to set this read or select permission on the schema level. Of course, you can also select it on specific tables. So these are basically the only three privileges I need. I do the same here for the other schema. Now, what is very crucial and what I missed as well is like that you have to enable a certain feature here. So check here in this catalog view, click on this gear icon and select the meta store this catalog is linked to. And you have to enable this feature here, external data access, which is a preview at that point of time. You have to enable that because that's basically the only way to grant users the ability to utilize external tools. So that's basically means like without this enabled, actually the Unity catalog will block like access if the access is requested from external engines, not Databricks engines. But of course, we want to use also the Fabric engines to connect to this data. So we have to enable this option. But with that, we are all set and can now move to the Fabric workspace. So here we are in my Fabric workspace where I have like this very naked workspace here. What you want to look out for on the Fabric side of things is that you are in a security group which is entitled to use this preview feature. So this is also a setting delegated to capacity admins. So even though you don't have to enable this on the tenant level, your capacity admins would be able to grant you this option. So once this is enabled for you as a user, you can get, you have the possibility to create this item here called mirrored Azure Databricks catalog. Now you want to set up this connection, and here it requests you to give the URL of the workspace you want to use for that. How do you get this URL? You basically go to your workspace here and copy paste the first part of this URL. So ending with azuredatabricks.net. That's all you need. And now you basically have to set this connection and give it a nice name and decide like if you want to use an organizational account or a service principal. So I assigned these privileges to my user now. So I'm just logging in here with my with the same user I gave those privileges to on the Unity catalog side. Now I can connect here. So here I can basically see all the catalogs which I have access to via this workspace connection. And here I can basically set the scope I want to set up this mirroring for. Do I want to set the scope on the whole catalog or only on specific schemas? So I'm just saying I want to have only like those two schemas here. And now I can add additional information about this item in Fabric, give it a specific name, give it a specific sensitivity label, and then I'm good to create it. So now it is created, and I see like a similar experience than Lakehouse without the files, only tables, and it's also not as flexible as Lakehouse. I can't add additional tables here. I can't have like files uploaded or whatsoever. So this is read only here. But I can see now that I have like these two schemas here. I have those tables here, and I can actually preview the data by clicking on it or using the SQL Analytics endpoint. So as you can see, I can see the data here. I can see the preview. And actually, if I switch to the SQL Analytics endpoint, I can actually run also SQL statements against this data. So I have like both schemas here, all these tables. I can create a SQL statement and execute it. And more importantly, on top of this data, I'm able to create semantic models and also Power BI reports. What you would typically do is actually not use that mirrored catalog item directly. eventually you want to kind of extend the data which you have there, maybe with some other data, maybe also data from other catalogs, or I don't know, some mirrored data from Snowflake whatsoever. So what you would typically do is actually having some kind of lakehouse where you can now shortcut these tables which were integrated, now onboarded via the Unity Data Catalog mirroring. That means if I have this lakehouse now with the full flexibility to add new files, to add my own kind of tables from the one lake, having shortcuts to all kinds of data, I can now create a shortcut to this mirrored Databricks Unity catalog item, and I can see the tables here and actually create those shortcuts. So here we already see like one of those tables. If I click the refresh button, I see that both tables are here. So I can extend this now, having my own tables, having my own files. And this would be the ideal basis now to create a new semantic model. And actually this new semantic model by default, it would also be able to use the very popular direct lake mode on top of this data. So in this way, you actually can build a pattern like this very easily and very efficiently for data managed by the Unity catalog, just shortcutting the data. So in the end, it's shortcuts, right? So it's basically just pointing to this data which you have in the Azure Data Lake storage. But by leveraging this mirroring of the Unity Data Catalog, you can create those shortcuts and other metadata synchronization in a managed way. So this was Azure Databricks Unity Catalog mirroring. I mean, there are some limitations. Obviously, it's still in a public preview. So there are limitations around if the data is behind firewalls, if you don't allow public IP access, strictly limiting it to private endpoints. There are some limitations there. There are other ways how to still kind of build this pattern of using the data which you might have built already in your Azure Databricks platform. But I will come to that in another video. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have suggestions, feedback, leave it in the comment, please, and add a like and a subscription if you like. Thank you very much for listening today. Have a nice day. See you. Bye.